Hi, I'm Alden Altenay, and we have a very exciting talk for you today with Michelle Lee. We are going to be talking about the power of gratitude and good news, which is so important. Now, I've worked in the media for 37 years. I'm a photojournalist by trade, and I started a Global Good News Day on the 8th of the 8th, 18, and also the Global Good News Challenge during COVID in June, which happens every single month. And the reason I'm a stand for truth and good news is because I've had depression and I've had 4 friends take their own lives by the age of 45. And globally, worldwide, about 1 million people a year take their own lives. And I know for myself, watching the news every single day growing up was a really negative factor that led to my depression. Now, Michelle is an amazing lady. She is from the Dream Architects on the Gold Coast as well. She's a human potential coach for youth, parents, and empty nesters at the Dream Architects, and also author, speaker, podcaster, and mum. And she runs the Dream Architects with her partner, which is Mark O'Toole. So welcome, Michelle.
Thank you, Aldwyn. It's so good to be here, especially talking about gratitude and good news. It's just, if we all had that in our lives every day, wouldn't it be a beautiful world? It already is, but wouldn't it be even more beautiful?
Absolutely. You know, I say hurt people. And, you know, when we're coming from a higher space, realizing that we are energetic beings in physical bodies, right? Exactly. So when we're coming from that higher source energy, we are coming from love naturally. Although a lot of people don't realize this, right? And they're in their human condition, they're coming from their mind. And I know you know a lot about this being a human potential coach, is that they think way too much about things and over dramatize things because, you know, we have been conditioned this way as well by the world and by the mass media. You know, we've been conditioned to believe that bad news sells, or if it bleeds, it leads. And, you know, this is simply not true. You know, people are drawn to the light. They're drawn to positivity. However, we've been conditioned to live in this negative fear-based state. So I say, you know, love or fear is where we come from. Love or fear.
That's
right. So what do you say about that, Michelle?
Absolutely true. And, you know, it's a choice at the end of the day. I do believe there is both love and fear, or light and dark. And we get to choose. We have free will to choose which way we want to go, what experiences we want to have, how we want to contribute to the world. So when you say that we've been brainwashed or led to believe that there's so much negativity, it's only because the focus has been on that negativity, and the balance hasn't been there to lead us to believing good things do happen in the world. Beautiful, kind, wonderful, courageous things do happen in our world, but we don't see the light shone on those things, do we? Until people like yourself have channels where you proclaim good news, you talk about good news, you encourage people to come and talk about the good things that are happening to them. So
absolutely, and there's always something wonderful we can focus on, right? There's always something great we can focus on.
Yeah.
And I'd love to chat today about some of our gratitude practices, and also share some research with you today about 9 powerful ways that gratitude can change your life. And also from Forbes, I would also like to share 7 scientifically proven benefits of gratitude that motivate you to give thanks all year round, right? So I'd like to share that also today and give people some really tangible things they can take away and actually, you know, consciously get into a state of gratitude. You know, I was on a Chris Howard training this morning on Breakthrough to Success, and he was talking about the conscious and the unconscious mind, and about the iceberg, and like the tip of the iceberg is like the conscious mind, and we have this huge unconscious mind, the unconscious that is not conscious of how our breath is affecting, you know, our feet, for example, right? That's unconscious. Now that I've mentioned that, it might come to your conscious. So everything that's not conscious that you're not aware of is your unconscious. And, a lot of people are conditioned in that unconscious space of negativity and fear. And particularly with COVID, I think this is a really important topic because a lot of people have been, very depressed around COVID. People have lost their jobs and businesses, etc. And then there's other businesses and people that have been booming, right, through COVID. So, what is the difference? Are they the cause or at the effect of what is happening in the world?
Exactly. And when we bring in the law of attraction, if you don't know what that is, it's what you focus on, what you desire, what you want, and what you bring into your mind and your heart is what you attract into your life. So imagine if you're living in fear and you're watching the news and it's all negative news, and then you worry about those things, then funnily enough, the law of attraction will actually bring you those things into your life to confirm to you that that is how the world is. So it works the other way as well, doesn't it? It works if you were to focus your thoughts and your heart and your mind onto things that are beautiful, that bring you joy, that are loving, that are kind, and you start to feel good because it all comes from emotion. You start to feel good about that, then you're going to bring more of that into your life. And that's the real power of gratitude, is when you'll be going through a few things as to how it benefits you, but I can say that, it can completely change your whole life, every single area of your life. Because once you start focusing on what you're grateful for, you have an emotion within you that draws more of that to you, so more of that feeling of gratitude to you. And in that gratitude, when you're grateful for something, usually you're happy about it, you're joyful about it, you're thankful about it, right? And you're relieved about something. So when you have those emotions moving through you, you bring in more things that will make you feel the same way. And if you have a practice of gratitude every morning, I have it every morning and every night. As soon as I wake up in the morning, I say to myself, I am so grateful to be alive. I feel so happy and grateful to be breathing. And I may just say that, or I may be lying in bed and thinking of something else that I'm grateful for. And every single night, I have at least 3 gratitudes before I go to sleep. And just imagine when you're sleeping, you're talking about the conscious and the unconscious. But in that sleep phase, that's the subconscious, right? So you've gone from conscious awareness of the gratitudes, you go to sleep, and then into your subconscious goes those gratitudes that was the last thing you did before you went to sleep. Imagine in the morning, as it works for the unconscious, imagine in the morning when you wake up, that is what will come to you, that feeling will come to you again. So then, you attract more of that into your life. So tell me though, Aldrin, you started this cause of this gratitude, what do you call it? What do you call it?
Global Good News Challenge?
Yes, and the Good News Challenge. What prompted you to start that? That was 2 years ago in 2018, 3 years ago now.
Yeah. Well, I had the Good News Day, which I started on the 8th of the 8th, 18. And I was actually doing a landmark course, and I was coaching on the Self-Expression and Leadership program. And as part of that program, I was coaching a group of people who were going out in the community, and they were creating a project that they were passionate about. And I've been passionate about good news for a long time because, as a child, my dad would always watch the news, and so we were subject to it at home, and he would watch not just one channel, he would watch multiple channels. So every night we'd have at least an hour to 2 hours of news on every single night, and 99% was negative or depressing, was about war or violence or famine or some drama happening in the world. And then you might get one tiny good news piece at the very end of the news segment. And I remember one morning or one day in Sydney, I remember at the end of a news bulletin, I remember just being in tears. I was so upset by what I heard on the news, and I went to my dad and I just cried, and I said, why is the world so nasty? Why is it such an awful place? And he just said, he hugged me and he said, "That's just how the world is." And so I grew up thinking that that's just how the world is, that it's a miserable place and people are nasty and and also my dad said for years, he said, anger is danger. And so I internalized my anger for many years too, which also led to depression for me. And also working in the news for a long time. I worked in the news from basically 20 plus years. I worked in the news in TV, radio and print. And I first had my first media experience at age 10 playing table tennis in Sydney. I was in the Manly Daily in Sydney, and then I was on Cartoon Connection on Channel 7 when I was 11 years of age, had my first media training. So I was around the media for a long time. And one way I released my aggression was through poetry. And at 13 years of age, I started a poetry show on radio, and it was just all angry poetry. And then I went into artwork, and I expressed my anger through artwork. And so I actually grew up very rebellious. I was bullied as a kid as well. I have Greek, Turkish and Ukrainian blood, and as a first generation Australian, they didn't really understand people who weren't from England, even though I have fair skin and I look kind of Aussie. My name was different. The food I took to school was different. It was Mediterranean food. And so I got picked on a lot as a kid too. And I never felt I belonged. And funnily enough, through the media, I kind of felt empowered in a way to make a difference about things that mattered to me, and areas of life where I heard negative news, and I wanted to share about it, and I wanted to help inspire people to take action for the positive, right? So with every negative, there's always a positive. And so I did this poetry show, and then I ended up doing a media degree at Canberra University, and I edited the university newspaper there called Curio. And as editor, I would write stories about things that impacted me in the world. I would watch a documentary, for example, about female circumcision or battery farming of chickens or recycling in the environment. I was shocked by how much waste there was out there. I did a story about duck shooting. I couldn't believe people were shooting ducks for fun, these beautiful animals. How can people shoot them and see that as an okay thing to do? And it was legal. And so I would write about these things that initially were very negative. However, I felt empowered through the media. I felt that I could actually do something about it by encouraging action to raise awareness about these things so people could make informed choices, like, for example, not buying cage eggs, for example, right? Buying free-range eggs. If people knew what happened with battery farm chickens, they would not buy cage eggs, or even going vegan or vegetarian and not having eggs at all, right? So people can make informed choices when they have an awareness. And so for years, I had been passionate about sharing good news in the media. And then I did this course, this landmark course, Self-Expression Leadership Program. And as the coach of these 5 other people, it was also my job in this course to actually go and create something I was passionate about. Now, I did this same program back in 2007, and I created the world's first Animal Action Day out of that same program, the Self-Expression Leadership Program, right? And out of that same program, which is run worldwide, the Clean Up Australia Day has come out of that, Red Nose Day, Are You OK Day, Daffodil Day. These are all people that did that program. This 3.5-month course, which gives you a structure to go out in the community and create an event. And I created, back then, the Animal Action Day. We've done 14 annual Animal Action Days now, raising awareness, appreciation, and respect for animals. And then in 2018, as the coach of the Self-Expression Leadership Program, I wanted to create a day of good news because I was sick of the negative news. And I thought I'll do it on the 8th of the 8th, 18, because 8 is a lucky number in our family. It's very lucky in Chinese as well. It is, yes. As you would know, it's about prosperity and wealth and abundance. And I live in an 8 house. We've always had 8 houses, number 8 houses. And 8th of the 8th, 18 was also the day that my niece was turning 10. So my niece, Matea, who lives in Gosford, that's her birthday as well. And I thought, well, it's a great day to celebrate her birthday. And I thought every year for one day we'll encourage some good news. And then COVID hit, of course, in 2020, COVID hit, which just shocked the whole world. And, all sorts of alternative information is coming out around COVID now, which is very interesting. And people are doing their own research and realizing a lot of what we're being told in the mainstream media is not true. So I do encourage you watching this, do your own research around that so that you don't buy into the drama, because a lot of the drama is not true. And having worked as a journalist for years, there were hidden agendas in the media. The editors would say, go out and get angles on stories that weren't there. And so it had a very negative bend working inside the media. It was a really constrained place, very male dominated. And I think now more and more people are coming into their feminine energy, which is more of a loving energy and a connecting energy, whereas men have been, hunters by instinct. Men are hunters, and they come from a, I guess more of that place. But I think now what's happening is that men are coming more into their femininity and women are stepping back from their masculinity, and there's becoming more of a balance that's happening now. And so then I started the Global Good News Challenge during COVID in June, and that's basically a monthly Facebook Live challenge. We do different challenges every month, and people can just share. It's a very simple format: their name, what they do, 3 things they're grateful for, and a piece of good news through a Facebook Live. And the good news can be something about themselves or someone they know, or it could be something they've seen on a positive news network. Because now, of course, in the last 15 odd years, we've had social media, and now we have a lot of alternative media channels such as the Good News Network, Sunny Skies News. We have a positive news section, good news in news.com.au. So now what's happening is media are actually going out, alternative media, and creating good news and looking for good news and focusing on that. And so now as individuals, with journalists looking to social media every single day for story ideas, we can actually help create the news now with what we do. And by sharing gratitude, it feels so powerful on video, and then, to then help promote that. And, it's amazing how you draw people into what you're saying next with your good news, whether it's about yourself, your clients, whatever you're up to. Now, Michelle, you did a good news challenge, didn't you?
I did last month. Yes, I believe there's one starting in 2 days' time, or tomorrow.
There is one starting May through. Yeah, there's one starting on Monday, the 3rd of May, up to the 7th of May. So we've got a 5-day challenge for May 2021, and you can start your 5 days any time within those 5 days. So it's just 5 consecutive days of Facebook Lives. All the details are pinned to the top of the Global Good News Challenge Facebook page. Okay, so pin to the top all the details. Do it on your profile on Facebook, or you can do it in the Loving Life, which is also pinned and linked to the top of the Global Good News Challenge page. So how did that feel for you, Michelle, doing the Global Good News Challenge?
Oh, it felt wonderful. Like you mentioned just now, when you express your gratitudes and someone's listening, it can help them become aware of maybe their gratitude is along the same lines, or it just makes them aware of, wow, yeah, okay, this happened today, and I'm actually really grateful for it. It really just plants seeds. It plants seeds, and then it ripples out to people. Because the minute, like if you said thank you for showing up today on this live, I feel good because you are feeling good. And so then I can walk away and then go talk to my partner and say, I had a really great session. I'm so thankful I was on this with Aldrin. She was happy. The ripple just continues. And that's exactly what happens. It's an energy. It's a vibration that travels between us, through us. And it's your joy and your love that is actually moving out into the world. And what you mentioned about the different news outlets now looking for good news, that's a wonderful, wonderful shift in the world. The more that can happen, the more good news we can have out there, the more our focus will be on that, and therefore we will start to feel better and therefore feel more grateful. So it's an awareness thing, isn't it, Aldrin? It's just having that awareness shift. It's like you're in a dark room with negativity being, broadcast through speakers and different media, and so all of a sudden you get given a torchlight, and you can shine the torch then and focus it on something that, just be grateful for the light to start with, and then start focusing it on what you want to focus on. And it's just an awareness. And I was also having when you're talking about how the news in the past, and still is so focused on drama, so focused on negativity, on things that create adrenaline in people, fear in people, because it hooks people in. They get so used to it. And it's not only the media, it's also the movies as well. I mean, how many
Yes.
terror movies, horror movies, and just horrible, violent movies there are out there. And you wonder how that is affecting people's psyche and how used to it they are getting, how, complacent they are, how numb they are to it as well. And so if they're not shown a different, not given a torch and shown a different way, they're just used to that, the negativity, the drama, and they think that's normal. You think that's normal, and that can be the demise of your life because that brings more negativity into your life, right? So what you're doing is absolutely cool. It's a step in a big direction. It's a massive ripple in the pond, and the more people do it, the more people join that global good news challenge and the gratitudes, and the more they even create their own pods all around the world, the bigger the ripple will be. So thank you. I'm grateful for you doing that. That's one massive gratitude.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And my goal is to have 1,000 people do this challenge by the 8th of the 8th this year, by the 4th annual Good News Day. 1,000 people. I would love to do this challenge. And at the moment, we've only had about 30 or so we've got a long way to go. So I'm going to keep putting it out there. And I know the people that have done it have loved doing it. And some of them have even got business out of it because they've been able to connect with their people. And some people have actually got work out of it by sharing what they do. It's a beautiful thing, although that's not the point of it. The point is to lift the energy on the planet to help decrease depression, anxiety and suicide rates through more good news. And it is about what we focus on. Now, right now on the Gold Coast, here we are in Southport, it is pouring down rain outside, right? Now, some people will go, oh, the bloody rain. They'll go, oh, gee, can't go out. Oh, I was going to go to that. I'm not going to go now. I don't want to get wet. And then there's others that are singing and dancing and swimming in the rain. And then there's others that are looking at how the rain is now a beautiful gift for the plants and the trees and how they're just lapping up this beautiful rain and the animals are getting washed, right? Like there's always another side to every story.
Exactly. And you talk about nature.
And it's a yin-yang.
Exactly. There's always the other side. You always need to flip the coin and have a look on the other side. And that applies to the challenges in your life. You might have a sore foot. You might, you might have a massive argument with your partner. Or, bigger things could have happened to you or happening to you right now that you feel that you're just in a mess and you can't get out of it. You can't get the feeling of any joy or any happiness. But the really cool thing is that when you start doing gratitude practice, and you've been doing it like I have for years, in the middle of the challenge, you can actually flip and see the good side. And that creates a momentum so that you move out of the challenge so much quicker. You let go of the pain, you let go of the fear, you let go of all the icky feelings that you don't like, and you can see the good side or the lesson or the real blessing that you have from it. And I know you can speak to this, Aldrin, as I can, because we've had a couple of challenges in our lives that we've been able to flip, and it may not have happened in all of them that we flipped it during it, because we're continually learning. We were getting to know who we were and learning all different life tools. But now we can do that very quickly. If not right there, it's soon after we can go, okay, I know what that taught me. Or now I'm a stronger person, or I'm a better person, or whatever it might be from that challenge.
Yes, absolutely. It's like the roller coaster ride of life, I say. There's going to be times you're going to feel on top of the world. There's times you're going to crash down. Unexpected things will definitely happen in life because that's how things go. And so in those low moments, the beauty of those low moments is not just that there's a breakthrough at the end of every breakdown, as long as you stay on that roller coaster ride of life. But as long as you get the learnings from those low points, it's not wasted time. It's actually perfect. Everything's in divine order, as Abraham and Esther Hicks say, right? Everything's in divine order. And
Yeah.
And then, then you'll come up again. And then sometimes you'll feel like you're going round and round in circles. Sometimes you feel like you're going backwards. Sometimes you'll feel like you have to slow down to speed up, right? And there's beauty in that too, slowing down and connecting with yourself, meditating.
Yeah.
And I know, all successful people I know of meditate.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they get connected with source energy and with the power that we are as human beings. It's when we get too much into our minds, into our conscious minds, and too much fretting and fear and anger and, from our conditioning from the mass media, from films, etc., which there's a great documentary on this, by the way, called Out of Shadows. It went viral during COVID. Check it out, Out of Shadows. It may have been taken down off YouTube, but you'll find it generally on Vimeo or other alternative media to get kicked out of home. And, and thankfully now, having done a lot of personal development as well, has really helped me come out of that depression and that anger that I had as a teenager, and to look for the things I can be grateful for in every situation. And I know, Michelle, for you too, you've done a lot of personal development. Have there been any pivotal courses for you or learnings for you as you've done your personal development?
Well, you're talking about your youth and being kicked out, and I just, if I can, is tell you a story about when I was 11, about how it may seem like a minor thing, but and I'd like to share with the youth here is that you may think that what is going on for you is tiny, or it might be huge. It doesn't matter where you are on that spectrum. If it's affected you, it's affected you. Like Aldrin just said, it's your story, own it, and then deal with it in the way you need to deal with it, in a positive way. Find the good story behind it, find the gratitude behind it, no matter what it is. We are all so different. We all, we have different sensitivities to things. We have different environments, we have different upbringings, we're just different people to start with. So it's like twins, for example. I'll come back to my story in a second, but identical twins, just imagine a story where mum's got an ice cream and the twins, both of them come running up, 2 girls or 2 boys come running up and say, Mum, can I have a bit of ice cream? And then mum reaches down and gives one of them, she can't give them both the ice cream at the same time. She's got to make a choice. So she gives the first lick of the ice cream to one child, and the other one gets it second. Now, in that moment, it is very possible that the second twin could feel rejection and hold that so strongly. And it may seem like a complete, casual moment, which happen all the time in our lives, at every point in our life. But it's the meaning that second twin decided to put towards having the ice cream second, feeling rejected, taking that right through their life, and then attracting rejection and rejection and rejection over time, right? However, it could have been a completely different story. That second twin could have been a very patient, happy-go-lucky little twin and just waited, and nothing, it wasn't even an incident. It wasn't even anything, because they were just waiting. They were grateful to get ice cream in the first place. So every event, every moment, we have a choice to decide how we see that story, what story we put towards it, what actions we put towards it. And as a child growing up, you don't know. You're innocent. You just do what you feel comes to you, really. But it's when you get to your later years, like your late teens or your young adult years, and you start developing, or you start being aware and developing habits based on those younger experiences, and then they start bringing you the same and the same and the same. And if they're all good things, that's all good. But if they're the same, for example, betrayals, or the same fears, or the same types of behavior that you're attracting into your life, then you've got to start wondering, what is it that is creating that? How am I creating that? And that's where personal development comes in. That's where you learn the tools to help you become aware, to switch on that torch inside your head so that you can focus on something different. Open your mind to something completely different.
Yes.
So
Absolutely.
coming back to my story, Aldwin, if you don't mind, is
Sure.
when I was 11. So I lived in Mauritius, and for some of the Indian people there, you probably know Mauritius because it's a very highly populated Indian culture there. I think 95% of the population there is Indian. So I was there from age 6 to 16. I went to primary school, and when I was 11, I had just done a mathematics test. And the classroom was sitting, and the teacher had just finished marking the test. And he got up, and we knew it was time to listen to our marks. And so what the teacher did, as he did always, he started reading the last person on the list, so the person who got the lowest marks. So he started reading off the names one at a time, and each child who got called was going to stand against 3 walls of the classroom, the side, the back, and the other side. So just be in a line across 3 walls of the classroom. And so I was, terrified. I was a very shy, introverted, very, very shy child. I wouldn't even look at people in their eyes. And I was trembling because I knew what was going to happen, when everybody had gotten up. So anyway, he kept calling the names, and then all of a sudden I was the last one sitting. So I actually got called last. I came first in that test. So I got up and went and stood at the end of the 3rd wall. And then the teacher started walking towards me. And as he was walking towards me, I was feeling like really proud. I had scored 99 out of 100. I was top of the class. I was thinking, he's coming here to congratulate me. I'm so excited. I'm going to go home, tell mom and dad. And then he came closer towards me. He grabbed my ears and he flung my head back against a unrendered concrete wall. One big whack against the wall, asked me to put my hand out, and with a split bamboo stick, I got 1 whack on my hand for losing that 1 mark. So I was 11 at the time. I don't remember exactly there was nothing in my mind. It was all emotional, right? At the time, I felt dreadful. I hated the teacher from then on. The thing is that I got 1 whack, but every other child got more according to how many marks they got. So they got more than I did. We never discussed it. The kids never discussed it. But what happened in my life, what happened that day was I went home and I cried and cried to my parents and said, I don't want to go to school anymore. I hate my teacher. I'm not going to school anymore. Something shifted inside of this young 11-year-old inside of me. Fear came into me. And mom and dad, in their wisdom, their loving wisdom, they said, no, you've got to go to school. You have to go to school. So I ran away from home. And that was the first time that I contemplated suicide. And you'd think that wasn't a big thing, but it was for me. It was a huge thing for me because later on in life, I realized that there was a complete betrayal. I was expecting something and I got the exact opposite. So there was something in my poor little 11-year-old heart that went, no, that's not good. So I was scared. I was terrified. I just wanted to die. Luckily, I'm here. My dad found me, so I didn't. Nothing happened to me. So I'm very grateful for that. But life then took a different turn. And at that moment, or in those days following that, I could have made 2 choices. I could have decided that I absolutely wasn't going to put any more effort into work because I was just going to get beaten anyway. So I could have just become lazy and not study. But I went another way. I decided that no, I'm going to keep studying and I'm going to get 100 out of 100 every single time. So where do you think my that perfectionist part of me came from? Moment. And everything I did in life, whether it was to read a book, whether it was to clean the house, clean my room, whatever it was, I had to do it in my mind what perfection was. Now, nothing is ever perfect for a perfectionist because it's always something missing, always something to do, right? And so I went into my 20s, into my 30s with that same mindset of doing everything to perfection. But the key is that I never felt like I was enough. Never felt like I was enough. I even topped the class, topped the primary school. I became dux in high school, and I was still not enough. I still inside was a trembling mess. On the outside, it looked like, oh, she's successful, but no, I wasn't. I wanted to be less. I actually wanted to hide further away and not be seen. And this is something like we've worked together, Aldrin, about, you do this program, this free publicity program about being seen. That to me, I've had to learn over the years to come out of my shell and allow myself to be seen and not expect to be hurt again. So just there's so much that you can change if you're aware of what your mind was telling you. And but for a moment, I do not regret that time though, because at that moment I not only became a perfectionist, but I became determined, I became resilient, I became, my standard was excellence. So there's a lot of good things that came from that. And that's what we need to look at. So I then realized through personal development in my 30s that I had some strengths that were creating success in my life, but there were also some darker sides, that feeling of not feeling worthy, that feeling of not being enough, that I needed to work on, needed to start loving myself for everything that I am, for all the imperfections that I am, so that I could fully, wholly love me and give more of me out to the world. So it's so powerful, that awareness, that flipping, that gratitude, the good news, creating good news out of not so good news. So that's what the young people, because I'm sure, especially in India, especially Asian countries, you're under the thumb to get your marks up there. You have to keep performing and performing and performing. And, if you are able to realize that you are already perfect, that you are already whole, that you are just here to love, and you're here to love yourself, and you're here to contribute your best gifts to the world, and your best gifts may not be the person next to you. So be the best person you want to be, that you can be, for you first. And when you're grateful about that, everything is easy. Everything is easy. You don't have to do this or do that or get this mark, or, everything will be easy, and you will be successful in your own right.
Yeah, I love that, Michelle. And, trust that everything is in divine order, even though it may not feel like it at the time, like when you got hit across your hand, or when the ice cream wasn't given to you first. These are things that may seem like small things to other people, but, after you've worked your butt off, for example, to get those 99 points, 99 marks, it's like not only were you not rewarded, you were punished for it. So, so another thought that could have come up is, why even bother working hard when I'm not, I'm not going to get rewarded anyway. So, and this is the thing, is that things happen in life, and as they say in Landmark, something happens, you make it mean something. Something else happens, you make it mean something. Something else happens, you make it mean something, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And people of Asian and Indian descent also have copped a lot of racism in Western countries, and that's something else that they've had to deal with, not just the competitiveness of, of being, Asian or Indian or coming from another culture, they've also copped a lot of racism. So where I've had racism as a, Caucasian European in Australia, I've seen the racism also, and people from Africa and people, people who don't look like the Aussies, or don't behave like the Aussies, and that's just in Australia, let alone other parts of the world. And I love the fact that Australia is so multicultural, and things have certainly changed now over, over the last 40 years. I think Australians now are a lot more accepting of people from different cultures, because they have a better understanding now of people from other cultures, whereas before they were threatened, saying, oh, they're taking all our jobs and all that sort of thing. Now I think there's a lot more understanding, and people love the Asian food and the Indian food, and the which comes with the culture, right? And there's so many Indian Asian restaurants, and we've got Chinatown now in just about every main city in Australia now. So there's lots of cultural integration and celebrating the different cultures that now happens in Australia, which is wonderful. Multicultural days and all sorts of awareness. In fact, there's a Greek day happening tomorrow. So some Panieris, and and then we celebrate the New Zealanders, and so it really is such a melting pot across the world of people. And even though we may look look different, or everyone looks different. Like, we've got 7.8 billion people that all look different. Doesn't matter where you're from. And if you research your DNA and your ancestry, you'll probably find you've got 10 different countries in there anyway.
Exactly.
So. So this is important too, is to not just accept others from, other cultures, but accept yourself, because, you are a melting pot of the world. You are a representative of the world, whether you think you are or not. Whether you have 10 generations that are English, there will be, if you look at your ancestry and your DNA, you will find that you have something other than English in there, most likely, right?
Yeah, we are all global citizens. You're right. We are.
Yes.
And we cannot accept another person until we accept ourselves. So it starts with us. It starts with you who's listening. Look at the places in your life where you might not be loving yourself fully, and then shine the light, shine that torch back on it, and decide whether you want to love yourself more. And if you do, then start doing the things that are necessary. Aldrin mentioned meditation. That's a really cool place to be. Your body is meant to move, but your mind is meant to stay still. It's in that stillness that all the wisdom floods through you and allows you to take the next step, make the next best decision. And in that stillness, it's when you hear the little whispers of your intuition. And it's learning to trust that intuition as well. We all have those little tiny moments where we go, no, I shouldn't do that, or yes, I should. And many of us, because we have so much information overload bombarded into us, or beliefs from the past, or people around us who are not really serving us and not there to love us, we get confused and we stop listening to our intuition. So meditate, take time out, just taking 3 long deep breaths in and out at regular times during the day, that will help you to remain present. And in that presence, you will hear those whispers. You will feel those whispers. You will sense why you are here. You will sense that you are loved, that you are so, so grateful, so, so blessed to be alive, to be in this physical body. Because at the end of the day, we are, like you said at the start, Aldrin, we are spirit in a physical form. So,
yes. Absolutely. It starts with you. And I'd love to, on that topic, Michelle, now you did say that in the morning and at night you have a gratitude practice. So can you share with us what you do to remain grateful through the day? What does that look like? Like, do you write it down, or how do you express your gratitude?
So the morning and night, say it as I'm waking, I say it to myself. So I am so happy and grateful to be alive. I am so happy and grateful to have the sun shining on my face. I'm so happy and grateful the cat is lying next to me, keeping me warm. I'm so happy and grateful that I've got this comfortable bed to sleep on. And you know what? Once you start, it keeps going and going and going. And so that's my morning practice. My evening practice, I share with my partner, Mark. Now that's a story that I do want to tell, because here is proof that gratitude has brought a loving relationship together. So about, how many years was it now? So it's 2015, so 6 years ago. I knew Mark, my partner, my husband. I knew Mark as a friend, as a colleague in a charity that we both were running. And we also were in the personal development field, so we were going to courses to learn more about ourselves. And one particular course we went to together, we decided we'd become gratitude buddies. So what that meant was that we were going to share with each other 3 gratitudes every evening before we went to bed. And we did it by text. So we were friends. We were actually in separate relationships at the time. And just as friends, we would just share gratitudes as a practice. And that went on for 2 years. And we shared a lot in that time, because it wasn't just a simple, I'm grateful for the grass, I'm grateful for the sun, I'm grateful for the curtains. It was actually a little bit of a story. Like, I would be dating different people and I'd say, in the gratitude, I'm so grateful for the challenge that I saw in this person that showed me something about myself. So it was a little deeper, going beneath the layers. So in that practice, Mark and I got to know each other. And we remained friends for those 2 years, but then a deeper friendship started to develop, really deep, in that sort of a knowing of one another, feeling of one another. And that's what we believe has brought us together. We fell in love, we got together, and it's now been since 2016. So 5 years we've been together, and we have the most loving relationship. And guess what? We still do our gratitudes every night to one another. And it's not just 3. It usually goes on to 4 or 5, and then we're falling asleep. But it's just such a beautiful thing. We truly believe that's the power of gratitude, that it brought us together, but it also is helping to expand our life, expand our relationship, create deeper meaning and deeper connection for us. As far as during the day, you mentioned what I do during the day. I believe that even though I'm not conscious of saying gratitude during the day, it's become normal. It's become a natural way of being, because I've done so much gratitude practice morning and night that, like I was saying earlier, like if I stub my toe, I don't go and yell out in anger and get all angry and upset about it. I just say, well, I'm glad that I didn't hit the rest of my body or something. It's just, it comes easily to me. I'm so grateful every single moment. And if you come to me and just ask me, what are you grateful for? I could just rattle it out right now, right there and then. So that's mine. What's yours, Eldred?
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Thank you for sharing that. That's just beautiful. And I'm going to go to some ways gratitude can change your life. Actually, look at some scientific research shortly that how gratitude can impact your life scientifically. Yeah. So something that I do, so in the morning again, as I wake up, I think about things that I'm grateful for. So I don't actually write it down as such, but I do think about it in my mind. And I notice sometimes when a negative thought pops in. Yeah. And that can happen, and then I flip it to positive. So it's a practice. It's a practice to do that, because it's very easy in life, as we've been conditioned to just go to the negative and to look at what's not working and focus and make that a massive thing. So now I look for the gift in everything, and I notice when I'm confronted by things, and I notice when the negative thoughts come up. However, what I do is I think about what I'm grateful for. I always have a nice strong coffee in the morning, which I'm always grateful for. And then what I started to do this year is I have a calendar that every day it has pictures of the world. It has beautiful pictures of the world, of animals, of mountain scenery, of the ocean, of turtles, of all sorts of things. And every day I manually take the day's calendar and I put it to the back, and I'll look at a new picture every single day of something beautiful in the world, and I just meditate for a moment on that picture, and I think, wow, that is amazing, today's one was like a centipede that was rolled up, and I thought, wow, that is just such an amazing looking animal, that some people might think is a grub, but when you look at it close up, you think, wow, this is a remarkable animal. I mean, even ants carry 10 times their weight. I mean, ants,
amazing.
Ants are extra. I don't like killing ants. I don't like, cockroaches I don't like to look at, but I don't like killing anything. I think there's beauty in everything. And so part of what I do is the morning gratitudes, the meditating on these pictures. I also have positive affirmations around me in several places. I have a lot of positive books and the positive affirmations. I have another calendar that has the 7 habits of highly successful people. And so every day I'll look at a new quote with that, and I'll meditate on that, whether it be synergize is one of them, or whether it's putting first things first is another one of the 7 habits. There's quite a few amazing habits, considering others, etc. So I meditate for a moment on that. Yeah. And then, of course, the Global Good News Challenge has been amazing for me as well. And I didn't realize actually how powerful it was going to be to share gratitude until I started to do the Good News Challenge. And then I went, and every time I did one, I thought, wow, that feels amazing. And in fact, every day could be a day where you could share good news if you choose to, right? However, by making it a challenge of certain days, it just encourages people to, to do it. But really, I'd say, even when I did the Good News Day on the 8th of the 8th, 18, I always say, look, every day is a day for good news. Every day we can focus on good news. And, it really is such a gift to be able to do that and to come from that loving space because it is a choice and it is a practice. Just like going to the gym and exercising your muscles, it is a conscious practice because we're operating 95% of the time from the unconscious that we're not aware of, which is often in negativity and drama. So noticing when negativity and drama comes up, when those conversations come up, and looking for the gifts in whatever you consider to be negative, that actually there's a gift there for you. There's always some kind of gift and learning in everything that you may think is negative or think is hard. There's always a gift, and there's always something there to learn, right? And you'll keep attracting the same kinds of things in your life until you get the lessons. Right? So you're actually making life easier by getting the lesson, right? Otherwise you'll just keep attracting the same crap. That's why often with relationships people attract the same kinds of relationships, right? And I know I've had some stuff around relationships. We won't go there today, but I've definitely had fear of intimacy in relationships, and I'm very aware of it. I'm aware of it, and I know that I've attracted certain types of men because of that, who are often emotionally unavailable, right? So having that awareness is great, so I can move forward and look for a nicer man for myself.
Yeah, that's right.
That's just some of the things I do, and also doing what I love is really important. I think doing what you love. I find when my energy goes a bit down, I'll go and do yoga, or I'll go to the beach, which I love. I love to get in the ocean, and I'm only a 10-minute drive from the beach, so I will nurture myself. I'll go and get a massage because I do work pretty damn hard. I do long hours and I do love what I do. However, it's important to have time away from the computer, right? And to also nurture yourself and do what you love. And that's a great way to find your purpose, as Bob Proctor says, is do what you love every single day as much as you can. Do what you love. And that's another way to come into gratitude when you're enjoying your life.
That's so powerful. And I just heard some funny noises, but just wonderful. And if you're watching this and you're taking notes down, you don't have to do everything at once. Just start with one gratitude. Just start with one small step at a time, and even be grateful that you are doing it. It's just again just awareness. Awareness is something that sometimes you don't even have to do anything. You're just aware of it, and it shifts your life completely.
Absolutely. And look, we're very fortunate now. We have YouTube, we have a lot of video channels out there, and you can watch a positive video. That's another thing I do when I'm feeling a bit low, is I'll put on a positive video, or I'll put on some comedy that I find online, and laughter automatically just lifts the energy and boosts your immune system as well. And something I started on the Gold Coast is the Gold Coast Business Laughter Club with a lady called Tracy Corman. And Tracy Corman runs Two's Company, and she's a very good friend of mine now, and we actually have a comedy duo called the Fiddly Gigglers. And we started the Gold Coast Business Laughter Club to help decrease depression, anxiety and suicide rates amongst business people through laughter. And it's something that we've stopped doing since COVID, but we had six events a year or so that we were running with about 10 different comedians before that, and we'd like to get back into doing that again. So watch some comedy online in the meantime while we've got COVID restrictions going on, and watch something positive, a positive video online. And there's plenty of them out there. There's some amazing positive videos out there now that people are creating, and I was just watching Dr. John DeMartini the other day. Today Chris Howard's an amazing NLP master trainer from America who's coached a lot of coaches. So having great mentors who are positive and always looking at what's possible, and at the cause of what's going on, being 100% responsible for everything going on in life, that's a really powerful place to stand. Whereas if you're at the effect of something, then you're in responsibility, you're not being responsible, you're in blame, you're guilt, justification, and whenever you're there, there's no power in that. So the only place to stand is being 100% responsible. So there's some of the things that I do, Michelle, in my daily practice and ongoingly. And another great thing to do is to be creative, get creative. And that could be something simple like cooking or doing some artwork is a great way to feel better about yourself. And in fact, Tracy Corman and I interviewed her for Media Queen TV. We did a interview called How to Overcome Abuse and Depression. And this interview is on Media Queen TV. You can go and watch it. And if you know anyone who is feeling down or depressed in any way, watch this video, because we share a lot of these simple strategies that help pull both of us out of depression and being suicidal at different times, and have helped bring us from the darkness to the light. And there's very simple things. It's not hard to do this. It's just a practice. It's getting conscious to it and practicing it on a daily basis.
Yeah.
So I'd love to share quickly. I think we've been chatting for nearly an hour already, Michelle. That's gone really quick. That's gone really quick. So we'll wrap up shortly. Just very quickly, 9 powerful ways gratitude can change your life. This is an article I found on Psychology Today by Amy Moran, and this is what mentally strong people do, right? What mentally strong people do is as you're grateful, the first thing is people will like you more, okay, if you're grateful. Now, you showed that, Michelle, because you found love through gratitude, right?
I did. Yeah.
The second powerful way that gratitude can change your life is you'll actually sleep better. So if you're having issues sleeping, you've probably got anxiety and a lot of mental clutter going on. So you'll sleep better by being grateful. The third thing is your psychological well-being will improve, okay? You're going to have a better outlook on life. And that was from a study from Clinical Psychology Review. So several studies have linked gratitude to lower levels of depression and less suicidal ideation. And it's also been linked to fewer toxic emotions like resentment and envy as well. Because those things will kill you, really. It's like wanting someone else dead and you're taking the poison. So come to love.
And fear and disappointment, it wipes that away. You can't even think about fear or disappointment when you're in gratitude.
Yes, absolutely. It's light or darkness. The fourth
another thing, can I just say too, is comparison, especially in that competitive, when you're at school and you're in the competitive area in school. When you are in gratitude, you're not really thinking about what that other person's marks are or who they're being or whatever it is, and comparing it to yourself, because you're just grateful for them. You're just grateful for the strengths you see in them, and it's powerful. You just become accepting, like we talked about earlier.
Yes, absolutely. Now, the fourth benefit and way that gratitude will change your life is your physical health will improve.
Big time.
Okay, so researchers have linked gratitude to lower blood pressure, fewer aches and pains, and improved immunity. So if you're worried about the COVID immunity situation, then get into gratitude, right? Exactly. And also, you'll have a healthier heart as well. It's been proven scientifically. The fifth thing is you'll have more energy to work on your goals. So gratitude will give you more energy. The sixth thing is you'll be a better leader. You'll be a better leader. Now, there's been a study by the University of Pennsylvania that found that employees who were thanked by their managers made 50% more fundraising calls than their counterparts who hadn't heard the same token of appreciation.
Yeah. A simple thank you. Those 2 words make a huge deal.
Yes, thank you. Absolutely. The seventh way that gratitude will change your life is you'll recover from hardship easier. Okay, and then the 8th thing is you'll feel less stressed. And the 9th thing is you'll feel better about yourself. So develop an attitude of gratitude. Now, you can do it with a gratitude journal. I know a lot of people write down what they're grateful for, which is fantastic. Share your appreciation with others. Take a few minutes every day just to cultivate gratitude. It takes us a few minutes to brush our teeth. Even while you're brushing your teeth, you could be thinking about what you're grateful for, because that's a practice you're already doing. And it can be the simplest and fastest way to improve your life. So there's just a few things there. And then 7 scientifically proven benefits of gratitude that will motivate you to give thanks year round. The first thing is gratitude opens the door to more relationships. It improves your physical health, psychological health. It enhances empathy and reduces aggression. Grateful people sleep better, it improves your self-esteem, and increases mental strength. So just a few reasons to be grateful. And Michelle, what are you grateful for today?
I'm grateful to be on here talking about gratitude with you. I just feel there's going to be a big ripple of gratitude going out to the world once people start listening to this. But even if they don't listen to it, just the fact that we're talking about it has risen the vibration, the energy on the Gold Coast anyway.
Absolutely. I love it. And
those raindrops will be carrying it all across.
Yes. And that's the thing, the ripple effect of gratitude is massive. And that's, part of what the Global Good News Challenge is about, is sharing that gratitude and having that ripple effect affect others around you. Now, I was at the Robina Pavilion earlier in the week at the BX meeting, and I found this very cool coaster. And this says here, be the reason someone smiles today. Isn't that cool? I love it. Be the reason someone smiles today. At the Robina Pavilion, I thought, how cool is that? I'm going to take one of those with me, and I'm going to share that. Be the reason someone smiles today. And it's just a beautiful thing. And I'm so grateful for you, Michelle, for coming on. You're amazing. I love what you do with the Dream Architects, which is empowering empty nesters to live the life of their dreams. So for the youth that are watching this, if your parents are worried about you leaving home and being all alone at home and what they're going to do once you leave home, then reach out to the Dream Architects. They're amazing, and they have all sorts of programs to empower people. In fact, Michelle, you've got something very exciting coming up. Would you like to share about that?
Yes, thank you for the opportunity. I am gifting on Mother's Day, or the Mother's Day week, so for empty nester mums. So for the youth in India, an empty nester is a parent whose children have left home. So it may not be your parents yet, but if it is, or if you know of any parents, especially mums, for Mother's Day, I'm not sure if it's being celebrated in India the same as us on the 9th of May. But this program is going to be a 3-day program, 3-day intensive program, starting on Thursday, the 13th of May, Friday, and then the Saturday. And it will all be about empowering empty nester mums, to go from feeling irrelevant and invisible to feeling empowered and on purpose. So they're really taking the reins and control of their life and creating a dream life for themselves. So that is a free event, and maybe we can share the link with this video when it goes out.
Yes, that would be amazing. Yeah, fantastic. Yeah. That's great, Michelle, that you're doing that. And, mums often give so much to others, and it's time that mothers started to receive more. And so for the mums watching this, you will love that. Michelle's amazing. So definitely hop on that link. And I'm so grateful for you, Michelle, and I'm grateful you came and did my free publicity secrets workshop, and you joined my mass media mastery program. It's been so great working with you. Thank you. This is just the beginning for you, right? It's just started, so much more is going to be happening for you in the media space.
And I'm so grateful for that, because coming from that 11-year-old who just wouldn't even look at anyone, now I'm out there on cameras, on the radio, and in magazines. So I'm very grateful for you, Aldwin, to having facilitated that for me through your free publicity program. It's been amazing to work with you.
My pleasure. It's so cool. I'm so grateful for my clients like Michelle and Mark, phenomenal people. And, there's so many in our community who are positive, inspiring people who are out making a difference in the world and sharing that with the wider community with the power of the media, with using TV, radio, print media outlets, and the online, podcasts, over 1 million podcasts just in America alone, where you can share your news, and all the good news channels and online TV shows. There's a lot of opportunity to share good news and let that ripple effect go even exponential by sharing it through the media. So if you're watching this and you want to know how that works, then just check out freeprssecrets.com. I have an event coming up on the 20th of May. It will be from 9 till 1 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, or Indian Standard Time. It will be 4:30 a.m. till 8:30 a.m. So it's going to be very early for the Indian community. However, you can also purchase a recording of that if you can't make the whole thing. So head along to freeprssecrets.com. And also I have regular events that I run, and I'm very grateful for our guest speakers that we have every month at the Mass Media Tribe events that we do as well. And our next one is on May 6th. And that is going to be from 6 till 8 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. We've got Access Super Consciousness for Media Success coming up. And you can check that out at the Mass Media Tribe group on Facebook. We'll get the links over to Vimal and Jeffrey. Thank you so much to the two of you for giving us this opportunity, and for the Youth United Council of India. Very grateful for you. And also the Global Good News Challenge. Check out the Facebook page, Global Good News Challenge. I would love to see your Good News Challenges, and we will be sharing those on our Global Good News Challenge Facebook page. And anyone who does a Global Good News Challenge, we're adding everyone to our private group, which is the Global Good News Challenge group as well, where you join the other Good News Crusaders and hang out in a positive environment. So thank you so much for everyone who's done Global Good News Challenges so far. Thank you to everyone who's sharing gratitude. Thank you to you for sharing gratitude. Thank you for watching this. And if you like what you've seen, please pop a comment in the chat here. Let us know what you're grateful for today. What are you grateful for? And share the love. Share this video across your social media. You never know whose life you will impact or even save today who might be feeling a bit down.
Yeah, exactly. And just I might add that, Aldwin, you're being the change that you want to see in the world. As Mahatma Gandhi said, you are creating that change. Each and every one of us can do the same in our own way. So go out there, be grateful, share the good news, and be the change. I'm so glad you've been here. Thank you for watching.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you so much.
And thanks to Marlon Jeffrey.
Yes, thank you so much. Youth United Council of India, great work you're doing. Really appreciate you having us on, and I'm very grateful to be an ambassador for you. And this is the first video interview we've actually done for the Youth United Council of India. So I'm sure there'll be many more to come, and we'll be sharing more wisdom and gratitude with you moving forward. And I love you watching this right now. I want you to know you are loved. You're not alone. Okay, there's always someone out there that you can reach out to if you're feeling down. And, you know, it's very, very easy, even though it may not feel like it, it is easy to flip from being depressed to being elevated, from being depreciated to being appreciated. And that starts with you appreciating and loving yourself, because you are amazing, and honoring and acknowledge yourself. You don't need anyone else to tell you you're amazing. You are amazing. Okay, so embrace that. And here's to you making the most of your life, to shining bright and lighting up all those around you with the power of gratitude and good news. Alden Olsenay signing out here, Media Queen TV. Check it out also on YouTube. Michelle, any final words you'd like to say?
No, I'm just grateful. I'm now going to go into the night. It's now 7:20 p.m. where we are here, and just very grateful for this whole session. Now I think I've got my gratitude for the week.
Yes, wonderful. And actually, we're going to be chatting next week as well, Michelle. We've got an interview actually coming up.
Oh, that's right.
With
yes.
Michelle and Mark. That's going to be on the 5th of May on the Wednesday. It will be at 11 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, which will be Indian time is 4.5 hours earlier. So it will be 6:30 in the morning for India. And we're talking about 7 tips to empower empty nesters. So that's going to be a fantastic interview. And that will be streamed to Media Queen TV on YouTube, and it will also be streamed to Facebook. So please stay connected. Google us, follow us on social media, check out what we do, check out the links for Michelle's amazing program for Mother's Day, and also the freePRsecrets.com, Mass Media Tribe, and the Global Good News Challenge as well on Facebook. Just Google us, you'll find us. We're everywhere. And we look forward to seeing you and connecting, and let us know what you are grateful for today. Pop into the chat there and share the love. Thank you so much.